The summer after high school was supposed to be the best summer of my life. No classes, no responsibilities, no deadlines, just freedom. It felt like the kind of summer you only get once, and I was determined to make it unforgettable. My friends and I had been planning our own rite of passage for weeks, a rock climbing trip deep in the Wyoming plateaus. It wasn't an official tradition, but to us it felt like one. The idea was simple: climb, drink a few beers, and celebrate life before college swallowed us whole. There were 4 of us: me, Alexandra, Nick, and Jack. We'd been inseparable since middle school. Alex had the only reliable car among us, a Jeep she adored, and she was always eager to take it off-road. She was also the only one who didn't drink, which made her the perfect designated driver. That afternoon, her Jeep crunched down the gravel toward Flaming Gorge Lookout, where we snapped pictures, laughed too loudly, and convinced ourselves the world belonged to us. On the way back, we spotted towering rocks along Highway 141 that looked perfect for climbing. Alex swung the Jeep into a gravel pull-off and we geared up. The climb was easy enough, just a 15-minute scramble, but from the top, the view was breathtaking. Endless stretches of Wyoming wilderness stretched in every direction, bathed in golden light. Felt like we were on top of the world. That's when I noticed it, a red pickup truck barreling down the highway. It roared past our car, then, disturbingly, screeched to a halt before reversing in the middle of the road. I pointed it out and my friends grew quiet. The truck pulled into the lot beside Alex's Jeep, and a tall man stepped out. At first, it looked normal, just another traveler, maybe curious about the area. But then he circled the Jeep, yanking on the handles, peering into the windows, moving with the focus of someone who didn't care if he got caught. Nick shouted down at him, letting him know the Jeep wasn't abandoned. The man froze, scanning the plateau until he spotted us. He waved, a friendly gesture. For a moment, we relaxed. Maybe he'd move on. But then, without hesitation, he went back to tugging at the car. Jack yelled next, bluffing that we were armed. It was a mistake. The man looked up, and his voice carried across the empty wilderness. "Me too, kiddo." Then he raised something in the air. From that distance, I couldn't tell if it was a gun, but the glint was unmistakable. Panic struck. He started ramming his elbow into the Jeep's windows, each thud echoing across the plateau. Alex screamed, and we all scrambled down the rocks, our hands raw from gripping stone too fast. By the time we hit the ground, we heard the sharp crack of glass breaking. He turned, gun in hand, and aimed it directly at us. We froze mid-sprint, our breaths shallow, our hands instinctively lifting. His voice was flat and commanding as he told us to throw down our phones and wallets. One by one, we obeyed, our belongings scattered in the gravel. The gun never wavered. When I finally got a clear look at him, my stomach turned. He was older, maybe mid-50s, with a weathered face, greasy hair, and a beard that looked like it hadn't been trimmed in months. His eyes were cold, hollow, like he'd done this before. The kind of face that wouldn't stick out in a crowd. The kind that disappears into anonymity. After collecting everything, he punctured Alex's tire with a knife, then walked calmly back to his truck. No license plates, no rush, just deliberate, practiced movements. Within seconds, he was gone, swallowed by the highway. We stood there in silence, the weight of what just happened pressing down on us. Alex was furious, shaking with rage. I was shaking too, but mine was pure fear. We changed the tire with trembling hands, praying he wouldn't come back. When we finally drove off, we tried following his direction, but he was long gone. Back in town, we called the police from Alex's mom's phone. We gave them every detail we could, but without plates, without distinguishing features, it was hopeless. We never heard back. For weeks after, none of us went near the plateaus again. The summer that was supposed to be filled with freedom and adventure had been stolen from us by a man who vanished without a trace. But the memory of that gun, the dead look in his eyes, still lingers. This next part of my story happened years earlier, but it still chills me. I was 19, driving cross-country with my brother Luke. He'd just finished college in California, and we were hauling all his stuff back to New Jersey in a rented U-Haul. Our parents had warned us, don't stop in remote New Mexico towns. The stories were endless. Scams, robberies, people who disappeared. Our plan was simple. Gas up in Arizona, drive straight through, stop in Texas. But plans rarely survive reality. Halfway through New Mexico, the gas gauge dropped faster than expected. With the tank almost empty, we had no choice but to pull into a small, dusty town. Felt wrong from the start. Too quiet, too empty. A handful of locals lingered in the heat, staring at us in a way that made my skin crawl. Luke filled the tank while I sat stiff in the passenger seat. A man leaned against the convenience store, cigarette hanging from his lips, never taking his eyes off me. I forced myself to look away. When we tried leaving, something strange happened. The highway was visible right there, but every turn led us further away. Roads curved into dead ends. Streets looped back on themselves. The GPS was useless, cycling between blank screens and phantom roads. It was like the town itself was designed to trap us. Frustrated, Luke went back into the gas station for directions. He returned pale, muttering that the clerk had given him a convoluted detour, 17 miles into the desert before looping back to the highway. Worse, the man had been asking too many personal questions, pressing for where we were going, how long we'd be traveling. Neither of us trusted it. As we sat debating, a dusty pickup truck rolled up beside us. The driver leaned out, asking if we were lost. Luke hesitated, then explained the directions we'd been given. The man's face hardened. His voice dropped. "Don't go that way. You'll never make it back. That's cartel territory." He gave us new directions, simple ones, a gravel road barely visible on the edge of town. Then he drove off without another word. We didn't question it. Luke followed his route, and after several tense miles, the gravel road merged onto the highway. Relief hit like a wave. We never spoke much about it afterward, but I'll never forget the feeling of that town. The suffocating dread, like every road was leading us into a trap. If that stranger hadn't stopped us, I don't know what would have happened.